Start recording. Yes, we are with another video. Is bzz, bzz, bzz. It's now to fix some user deficit in a TikTok game. Os cannot be marked as on the board. You set the first move by X by default. Let's keep the track on the adding another piece of state in the board. X is next. Sinners is true. Each time a player moves X next, it is a boolean will flip determine which player does not exist. Players goes next. The game's state will say you update the board handle click function will the feature in next is next. Use the state rule in optional. Now as you click the different square you will alternate different way between X or 0 as they share. But wait, there is a problem. Try clicking on the same square multiple times. The X is overwritten by oh. While this would be a very interesting twist in the game, we are going to stick an original rules of now. When you marked a square with X, or when you are in first checking to see if it's square already has X or will, you can fix this by returning only. You will check it to see if the square already has an X on zeros. If a square already filled with. Let's check. Hashtag Asia ka 2023 August 13 schedule September. My final match will do. Yeah, I'm going to live stream for my 5 September. 5 September. 5 September will be a good option to try this out. The Ox is overwritten on the will mark your square with X and or the aren't effect fact checking if the square already. You can fix this by writing only. You check to see if the square already has an X0. If the square is already filled, let's and down as looking. Now you can only access 0 stream pretty square. Here what your code look like at the point. Declaring a winner. Now that the player can be turned on to so what's when the game is won or there is no more turn to make. To do this you have to have a function called calculator win. Let's make an array of 9 square checking a winner return x or y or null appropriate. Don't worry too much about the calculator win function. It's not specific to React. It does not matter whether you define calculator way before or after the board. Let's put it and so that you don't scroll past it every time you edit a component. You call calculate winner square in the board component handle click function to check if a player has won. You can perform this check if a user has clicked a square that already has x or zeros would like to return early in the both cases function handle click high if the square to let the player know about what when the game is over. You can display text on winner x or x to do that. You state a section of the board component. The state will display the winner if the game is over and display which player turn to be next. Export default board. Congratulations, you now have a wrong TikTok game. Working TikTok game. Just learn the basic of React 2. So you have real winner here. Here is so you are a real winner here. Here what code would you like? Adding timetable as a final excel. Let's make it possible to go back to time the previous moves of the game, storing history of the moves. If you mutate the square array, implementing timetable would be difficult. However, you should slice to create new copy of squares array from every move and treat it to immutable. This will allow to store every past version of the square array and navigate between that and you have to store the past square array in another history which is stored a new state variable. The history or array represent all the board state. Lifting the state up again, you will now write a new top level component called display to display. This will prioritizing placing the history set in a game component will to remove the square set from its head code. That's like a lifted state up from the square component in the board component. You will now have lift up it. First and game component will export default. How to render board game and some markup. Note that you are removing export default keyword before the function board declaration. Declaration you tell the index.js file to use game component at the top level component instead of board component. Additional divs return game component and making room for game information. Add some state of the game Track which player is next, history of the moves. Notice array.9 fill null is array will single item, which itself is array of 9 nulls. To render the square of the current move, you have to read last array of the history. You don't need use the state of this. You already have enough information to calculate it during rendering. Next, create a handle play function inside the game component that will called and a broad component update the game pass. Current square is handle play and is a proper board component. Let's make the board component fully controlled by press it receive. Change the board component that next square on play function that board can call and update its square when next remove the first two line of the board function that call user state. Now replace the set square or set next and will click in the board component with the single function. The board component is fully controlled by the props. How many minutes has been passed? 6 minutes already passed in this video. This is going to be the last video of the day. It is 7:41 p.m. in evening. Board component is fully controlled by the props. Pass it by game component. You need to implement handle play function game component to game working again. What should handle play do? Called remember that board used to be called as a square with an updated array. Now its pass is updated square and on play. The handle play function need to update game state to re-render, but you don't have set square function that you call anymore. You are not using history state variable to store this one. You want to update history by appending the updated square array. You also want to be toggle next just on about used to do it. Here history next square create a new array that contain all items followed by the, for example, if history is null dot external, the next square is then now history next square array will null. At this point you move the state to live the game component and UI should be fully working just as of the working refactor. Here is what code should look like at this point. Showing the past move. Since you are recording TikTok to game history, you know how nimbly display all the past move. React element like button or regular JavaScript objects you can pass around in your application to render multiple items. React you can pass an array of React element. You already have an array of history moves in this state now. So now you need to transform an array of React element in JavaScript to transform one array to another. You can use array map.method. You use map to transform your history to or move into representing button. Let map over the history. Let me check it. Let me check it. I don't want to hear that. I'm not getting that result that I want to search. You will map transform history of moves in React component. React element representing button on the screen. Display list of button to jump past move. Let's map over the history of the game component. You can see what you can code to like. Note that you should see an error in a developer tool called the warning each or iterator should a unique key props. Check the render or chat of the game. You fix the error injection. As you iterate through history array inside the function, you pass the map. Square argument goes through each element of the history, and move argument goes through the array index 01. In most cases, you don't actually array element, but the render list of the move. For each move in a TikTok game history, you create a list item which contain a button. This represent one click handle which calls a function or jump to. Well, now you should see a list of moves that occurred in the game and error in the developer tokens. Let's discuss what key error means. Picking a key. When you render list, React stores some information about render a list item. When you update a list, React need to determine what to change. You should added, removed, rearranged, or updated list item. Imagine transitioning from X1 to in addition to updated count the human reading of the word probably say that you swapped Alexa and Bang ordering of nested liquidity between clicks and win. However, React's computer program can't know what you intended. You need to be specify property for each list item or differentiate. Each list has a handling. If you data from your database Alexa win or cloud database ID could be used as a key. When a list is re-rendered, React takes each list item to stay as a searches the previous list item for a matching key. If a current list has a key, React create a component. If the current list is missing a key, that existing previous list, React destroy the previous component. If two key matches, the corresponding component is more. Key tells React about the identify. The each component will allow React to maintain a state between redundant. If a component change, key change, re-destroy, recreated with a new state. Key is a special and reserved property in React. When an element is created, React extract the key property and store the key directly in the remounted event. Even though key may look like a passed as a prop, React automatically use key to decide which component to update. There is no way of component to ask what key to represent is because it is strongly committed that you assign proper key wherever you build in a specific right. If you don't appropriate key, you may want to consider restricting your data so that if no key is specified, React will report an error. Using the array index, implementing time travel. Okay, in the TikTok game history, each past move has a unique ID associated with it. Is sequential number of the moves will never reorder, deleted or inserted in middle, so it's safe to use some move indexes key. In game function, you can add if you reload the re-render game, React key error should disappear. Yes, before you implement jump to, you need to game component to game. How many minutes has been passed in the issue? 13 minutes. Okay. Next, update the function inside the game to inside you will know to make. If you go back to the time, you make a new move from the point. You only want to keep the history up to the point instead of adding next feature. Oh, in terms of history, you will add after all item Mr. Dot slice so that you keep portion of whole history. Each time you move history, you need to update the current move history entry. Finally, you modify the game component to re-render currently exact item. Final cleanup. If you look at the code very closely, you may notice that is the next is true when current move is even. There is no reason for you to store both of them. In fact, always to avoid redundant students. Simply what you changes games for next. You no longer need to do is the next. Is X is the next state declaration. Set X is next. Now there is no chance of wrapping up. Congratulations, you created TikTok game. Let's play TikTok game. Indicate what players you want. If you have an extra time or you want to practice your new you have some ideas for the current move only. You are moving. Rewrite what to use to loop to make the square instead of hard coding them. Take a toggle button that let you start or the move into either ascending or descending order. When someone win, highlight the three square win, and when no one win, display the message about resulting of row. Display location each on the front row. Throw this tutorial with us on the React component, including element component. Now let's see these concepts work when building a game. Check out the thinking in React. See concept building a building an app UI. Here we go. Almost 15 minutes going to complete in this video. We'll see you on next time. Till then, keep hustling. That's it.